Southern California, that horrific mass shooting on Saturday night. The victims were celebrating the Lunar New Year at a dance studio in Monterey Park when the gunman came in. At least 10 people killed, more in the hospital as we speak, and police say the suspect took his own life after officers approached him in a white van yesterday.
Gunshots rang out around 10:20 p.m. Saturday night.
And I got approximately 10 deceased.
Police say the gunman entered the venue and opened fire, killing 10 people and injuring 10 others.
Suddenly heard the boom, 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 boom.
Hattie Pung was there as the shooting broke out. She says several people around her were killed.
You will see the body already, several lying there.
Now we know, as I said in the opening, it is now 11 people dead. That number could change. At the time that news clip was recorded, it was 10. Now, unfortunately, it is up to 11 people. As stated, they were celebrating the Lunar New Year weekend. Now, Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna gave an age range for the victims. I don't have the specific ages because they have not been identified, but they're not in their 20s or 30s. They seem to be probably, I would say, in their 50s and 60s, and maybe some even beyond that. So that's coming from the Los Angeles County Sheriff, just giving an estimation of what he thinks the age range may be of the people who were killed. Now, the shooter has since been identified as Hugh Con Tron, 72 years old. Let's put up his picture. There he is, 72 years old. His connection with the first hall, or he was connected with the first hall he attacked. This headline: gunman had been a regular patron at dance hall he attacked, according to people who knew him. And that reporting is coming from CNN. And there's since been an update from the sheriff department. Take a look.
Based on the previous information relayed by homicide investigators regarding the white van involved and seen leaving the scene of the incident in the city of Alhambra, the Torrance Police Department was notified, and at 10:20 a.m., the Torrance police officers located the white van matching the description near the area of Sepulveda Boulevard and Hawthorne Boulevard. As Torrance officers pulled behind the vehicle, the white van entered a shopping center parking lot. When officers exited their patrol vehicle to contact the occupant, they heard one gunshot. And although that closes a portion of a very long day for all of us, the investigation is still ongoing. Sheriff's homicide detectives are working around the clock, gathering additional information and working on determining the motive behind this extremely tragic event.
Tragic indeed. And unfortunately, Republicans have wasted no time in trying to blame everything else except for guns for the shooting. Let's take a look at this tweet. This is the Republican Party's response to a mass shooting that killed 10 people and wounded 10 more. Again, we have new reporting that it's 11 people. Can we please stop pretending they care about gun violence or crime? And that was a quote tweet over Democrats never waste a crisis. And the next tweet comes from Little Donald. You'd think you'd hear a lot more about the mass shooting of 10 people in California, but don't worry, you won't hear anything about it because it wasn't done by a white conservative man with an assault rifle. Doesn't work for the narrative, so it basically never happened. And again, that's coming from Little Trump Jr. Now, at the end of the day, certainly my stunt double gets this just right here when she says we must come together as Americans, regardless of political affiliation, and agree that we have a mass shooting problem. Just period. That's just it. That's the beginning, and that is the end. But some people also want to make a claim that mass shootings are the fault of people with mental health challenges. But again, that is not the case. Blaming mental health problems for gun violence in America gives the public the false impression that most people with mental illnesses are dangerous, when in fact, a vast majority will never commit violence, and that is coming from the New York Times. So Jessica, I mean, we know that this tragedy struck. There were some other shootings. There was a shooting in Baton Rouge. I mean, we've had so many already. The year has just started and the numbers are soaring with these mass shootings. Your thoughts about this situation?
Right, yeah, just the jarring statistic people were throwing out there of 33 shootings in the first 22 days of 2023. And it's interesting to hear the New York Times talk about mental health, because of course there's a whole range of mental health issues you can deal with as a person. But it seems to be that it's the case more often than not. When we have a mass shooter situation, it's someone who is expressing an anger, a loneliness, some kind of qualm they have with society or the community. And our outsized focus on the individual as a society has allowed us to have this blind spot, right? To say, of course, they're not responding to problems with the community or larger society. Of course, this is a monster. This is something wrong with them, instead of reflecting what needs to change so that this doesn't happen, so that people don't want to commit these egregious acts of violence and kill so many people, and then at the end of it, end up killing themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. We do. This is a universal problem and we must deal with it in a universal way.